What's up, Ohio? She Shreds with Rasan here, and this episode I talk with a few members from Accuse the Villain. We're going to talk about their new single, Fall Out, that just came out July 10th. So join the accused, stand with us, embrace the chaos, and rise with the villains. This episode brought to you by Hamilton's on Main, pizza, potatoes, and more. Fuel your inner headbanger during this Inkarceration weekend with the Pit Potato, Headbangers Hot Potato, and Metal Mac and Cheese coming at ya. Let's get into it. What's up, Ohio? She Shreds with Rasan here, and I am here with a couple cool guys who I am pleased to have on my show tonight. I have Kevin, who is the lead vocals and rhythm, and Jason, who is the drummer, and they are in the band Accuse the Villain. So thank you so much for being on the show tonight, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
You were nominated by Marcus Lehendro when I had him on not too long ago. We talked about his band X Factor One. And he definitely said I needed to reach out to you guys. And I'm so glad that he did, because he was not familiar with Accuse the Villain before. So I was checking out some of your songs, and you're definitely the type of music I love to listen to. So I'm sure you've got lots of fans out there, and I'm pleased to have you on so that we can bring you in some more fans too. Spread the word.
Perfect. Thank you so much. That's what we need.
Absolutely. That's why I'm here.
Perfect.
So
Thank
I know
you.
we've got a few members missing tonight. Who all is also part of Accuse the Villain that's not with us?
Go ahead, Jason.
So we got Brandon Owen on guitar. Incredible guitar player, good guy. Just like everybody else in the band, I want to say. Colt Graves, also guitar. Killer rhythms, really good lead writing. The newest vocalist we have, Eric Stroud, who will be premiering a track with on the 10th, of course. And then Kevin G, we just call him, Kevin Gabarovic. Sorry if I butchered that, Kevin. Incredible bass player, very unique riffs, and just good group of guys.
Awesome. And I'm super excited because you guys will be here in Mansfield come next weekend when the annual Metal and Tattoo Festival comes to town in my backyard, Inkarceration.
Yes.
So we'll definitely talk about that too, because I know you guys are excited. You're going to be playing at the campgrounds, right?
That's right. Yep. Super excited just to be involved in that weekend at all. So it's a great opportunity.
All right.
Definitely.
Sweet. So I have to ask you, how did you come across forming the name Accuse the Villain? Was there an idea behind it?
I guess so. It started out as just like an idea. Like Jason and I used to be in another band, and on the tail end of it, I just started to wanted to like write stuff in my in our own vision, and I guess I came up with the name that just kind of represented like people holding themselves accountable. We're always, pointing the finger at everybody else. So it's kind of just my own representation of that, where like I'm not afraid to be the bad guy sometimes, but that's just how it works out. And then we originally started as a 3-piece, and nobody really had an argument against it. All liked it and just ran with it. So kind of just stuck.
Okay, cool. I think it's a unique name. Which is kind of interesting to say, because I mean, there's so many bands out there that, continue to form. So to me, it's always interesting what goes into making a band name, especially if there's a story behind it, or, something traditional or something of that nature. But Accuse the Villain, I guess it could mean so many different things. And especially like what you said, somebody's always trying to point the finger
Yep.
at somebody else,
Always.
So Mama always said, you point the finger, you've always got 4 pointing back at you. Well, actually, you only have 3, but you know what I mean? But I guess today, that doesn't stop anybody.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely not.
Thanks to social media. But anyways, before we go off topic, let's talk about what you guys have coming out. So here, July 10th this week, you have a new single dropping called Fall Out. What can you tell us about that, and what can we expect to hear?
Go ahead, Jason.
That one started with Kevin. Kevin and I, as mentioned, we started as a three-piece, and so it was primarily him and I throwing ideas back and forth, which is kind of still true to now, I guess, being that the other three are very recent to have joined, and as we're getting our footing and whatnot. But yeah, Fallout started with Kevin, went into production, and it just ever since we kind of started working with it and presented it to the guys, it just had a really good driving feel to it, which is kind of what I think Kevin was going for, was something that was gonna really pump up a crowd, maybe get us to the opportunity of being played on Octane or something cool like that. Yeah, as the song, I mean, as it developed, it just I think it really pulled together once Kevin finalized the vocals, I want to say.
Mhm.
But yeah, all the credit really goes to him for that one, because it was his baby essentially.
Nah,
Really?
no, it's a group effort. Everybody put their own touch to it. So just maybe starting the foundation, and everybody chimed in on their parts, and it just came together.
Yeah, the lead and the guitar work that I guess that I should credit that came from the collaboration aspect. I guess is another big part of what pulled it together, on top of the vocal aspect. But yeah, it's definitely one I could see. I mean, if it was me outside of the group, something I would hear and be like, okay, that's cool. I could get into that, and then
I think it's
hopefully.
just going to surprise a lot of people. I mean, a
Okay.
lot of a lot of aggression in this one, a little bit.
All right. So maybe we're going to hear some hardcore.
It's on the harder side of our music so far. So yeah.
Okay. How would you describe your band as far as your sound?
I like to, when people ask me that, I like to kind of explain a bit this way. When you ask people what their favorite playlist is, it usually includes a variety of genres, right? And we are fans of music first, and all of us have various tastes in what music we listen to. So it's one of those things where our sound is just, you know, per song basis, whatever we're feeling for that in that moment is what we're going to do. So we have
Well,
a lot
guess
of
what?
stuff.
We have somebody else joining us.
Boy,
Another
We
Kevin.
have.
It's Kevin G. Dun dun dun.
Hello?
We
Hello.
can hear you.
Hear you.
Sorry about that.
Awesome.
It's been
That's
quite a
okay.
day. So
No, glad that you could join us. You missed all of the bad things that they said about you, so you have joined at the perfect time.
perfect.
We're
Just
actually
nicely.
just wrapping up. So see you later, Kevin.
Yeah. Just hang in there for 2 more minutes. Then you
Okay.
can go get
Just
dinner. So Kevin K, welcome to the group.
G.
Yeah.
Kevin G.
So
Kevin G. Why do I keep saying Kevin K? Probably because there's 2 Kevins.
Yeah,
My
probably.
God.
so
Okay.
what I
Kevin
miss? Anything
G.
good?
Well, we already talked about what went in behind the name Accuse the Villain, and we're
Actually,
talking
I don't
about.
even know that.
You don't?
No, I'm kind of a newer guy, so I didn't get like the backstory, I don't think.
Oh, he froze.
All right. Well, I guess you'll
Maybe
have
I
to listen
froze.
to the beginning when this gets posted.
I will for sure, yeah.
So that will give you some more anticipation. But we were talking about July 10th. You guys have the new single that's going to be released with Fallout. And we were just talking about went into creating that song and some of the content behind it.
Nice.
So are you super excited for this single to be released?
I am. Like, it took a little bit for the momentum to get going, to get it recorded and sent out and good to go, but like I think it turned out really well. I'm looking forward to seeing the feedback we get from it for sure.
Okay. And I hear that it's a little bit harder than what you've had in the past. So, yeah, I was trying to get some information out of these guys. They're kind of keeping it under wraps until release. But it sounds like there's going to be something that fans aren't typically used to. Is that what you were kind of saying, Kevin, or am I off?
I mean, there's by the time you post this, will probably already be out. And like, there's an edition.
Yeah.
There's a newest edition to the vocal side of things. We have Eric coming in to help us with some vocals, and I mean, I don't know, like I said, it's just different. There's a lot of aggression. It's catchy. It's got a groove to it also. So I think it's going to be fun for crowds.
Okay. And is this something that fans are going to be able to hear when you're here at the campsite?
100%.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's what, about in the middle, early middle, the set, somewhere
Early,
there.
middle. Yep.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
if you're not there from the start, you might miss it.
Okay.
Are you going to be at the campground?
No, I'm not.
Mhm.
I know. Are you going to be at the Ink Festival?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Be walking
All right.
around. I'll probably be walking around Friday and Sunday of the festival, but Saturday probably not so much.
Okay. Yeah, I am planning on going all 3 days, although Saturday is a little iffy. I have a family event also, so I'm kind of, considering which of the two I'll go to.
Mhm.
But I'm definitely excited. I go to Ink every year. It's for me, it's in my backyard. I live here in Mansfield, so it's kind of fun
Nice.
to go there. After everything is torn down and put back and back in normal, we like to drive by, and I'm like, man, can you remember that stage was just right there? All those people, yeah. It's just kind of weird to be able to go back and look at it from that
Hmm.
perspective, because I still can't believe how many people they pack in there on the old prison grounds. It blows my mind
Yeah,
every
it can
year.
get a little crowded in there. I've been going to the DWP festivals for like 15 years, Rock on the Range, a Sonic Temple to Inkarceration. And just sometimes, even though Incarceration is outside in that open field, like there are so many people in there that it still feels like it's just hard to maneuver sometimes.
Yeah, it can be. It's definitely fun to be there though, and just the feeling, the vibe, everybody's there for the same reason.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a good crowd of people. The promoters are really cool. I know, I mean, even the friends of the promoters, I know some of them, all good people. So it just has a good foundation, and
Absolutely.
glad that
Yeah.
it's not 10 hours away.
Excellent logistics.
Yeah,
Excellent.
it feels like it gets a little bigger every year too. Like I don't know, I think over the years it went from what like 2 stages, now there's like four. Like it's just they're always packing more people, more bands. Like just
Yeah.
expands and gets bigger, and
It's
definitely
crazy too because, well, the way they situate the stages, depending on where you live in Mansfield, you can hear from miles away the music play all weekend.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Well, most will. Some will. Hey, they'll deal with the first 3 days and it'll be done.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And the residents around here, in the beginning, some people, would kind of bitch and complain about it. I mean, you're going to always have that. But the longer that it's been here and they see that, what it's doing for the community, a lot of people have gotten on board with it. And so the neighborhood, especially like right across the street, these people, they have their yards where you can park. They'll even have their own food trucks there. They'll make their own food and sell it. You can camp in their backyards. So, I mean,
I know.
it's definitely, it benefits a lot of people more than what you would realize.
For sure.
So, with you guys being a 6-member band, what kind of musical influences would you say that you guys grew up with? Yeah, we got to start as babies and we're go way up.
Yeah, I was to say how much time you got. I mean, when I was a kid, it was 80s hair metal, early hip hop. I mean, I was all over the place.
Okay.
I think that kind of evolved as I think it probably does with most people. When I started really getting into, more metal, when, being a drummer, all the best drummers were in metal bands. So naturally I gravitated towards that. A lot of prog metal, Dream Theater, Cynic. And then, your technical death stuff really started coming in heavy, Necrophagus. It's just so expansive and that. I mean, then you got your really good pocket bands, you know, your Breaking Benjamins, and I mean, yeah, it could go.
Okay.
All
Well, I was going to say, thinking back to when you were young, was there a musician or a band that you told yourself you wanted to be like?
yeah, probably Mike Portnoy, Dream Theater.
Okay.
Yeah,
That comes up a lot.
yeah. I mean,
Mike's name comes up.
he's the goat, man. He's
Uh-huh.
the best of the best. So yeah, it always gives you something to aspire towards. Especially when you hit creative, you know, blocks and things like that. It just kind of with that type of music, especially for me at least, it's always good to pick out pieces.
Yeah,
Use it.
you definitely went for the goat. What
Yeah,
about you, Kevin? Kevin G.
I was just gonna say earlier that like you can definitely tell in our music that like there's like so many different influences and things like that. Like you can hear the grooves of just like early metalcore and new metal, and then like there's some solos in there that like are one of our lead guitar players, like you can tell it's like influenced from like thrash metal and things like that. Like it's like for me personally though, it I started learning on like classic rock kind of stuff, like Skinner and Zeppelin and Hendrix, like all that kind of stuff. And then I was a 80s and 90s kid, so then like Stone Temple Pilots became a huge influence, and yeah, it grew from there. And I started getting into like heavier stuff, and yeah, but I'm like a sponge. Like I'll see a band of any genre and just like soak it in, and then a little bit of that will like influence my playing. So it's definitely evolved. Just even in the past 5 years, like my playing's like definitely gotten pretty unique, I would say.
All right.
That's a
And
good
what about you,
description.
Kevin Hot?
As early back, I believe Kiss was actually the first CD I ever bought when I was a kid. But I suppose I grew up with a lot of country influence. Actually, my dad was in a country band, and then my mom was like really heavy into like the basic Whitney Houston, Celine Dion on the radio. So that was a lot of the stuff that I listened to until about high school. Then big bands like Creed came out. I think Linkin Park a few years later. Breaking Benjamins, either Disturbed and Godsmack was big at the time, and of course Metallica was always a classic. So that's probably where it all began.
All right, very cool. I always like to ask that because usually you end up hearing, what some of the favorites are, but it's interesting to see the wide variety too that
Mhm.
inspires musicians such as yourselves.
yeah. It's definitely wild to see everybody's preference and just what
Right.
their ride was like and what made them develop into how they play, what they like to play. It's I mean that's cool though because I mean some of the best musicians
Definitely.
in the worlds just are just they're they're no singular being. They're just all over the place with their influences.
When did it occur to you that you wanted to be a musician?
I mean, for me, I mean, I don't know if I ever really considered myself wanting to be like a full-time musician. I mean, I gave it a go, with bands throughout my entire life. Did like mini gigs all over the place, that kind of thing. But seeing myself
Okay.
as like being like a touring, like huge musician, I don't know if I ever really envisioned myself being there. Kind of like an unattainable goal. I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't confident enough, but
How
I'm
old
just
were you
happy to
when you
be where
started
I'm at.
playing drums?
I mean, I had my first little drum kit when I was probably,
Okay.
and then I played on and off. I took a lot of long breaks. I want to say probably the last long break was probably a good like 8 to 9, 10 years almost before I met up with Kevin and we were in that other band. Then really started putting forth some effort, learning, all the advances with the musical equipment and recording and just all that comes with that is it had come a long way. So still trying to grasp all that as we go.
So after that, say 8 to 9 year break, you feel like there was a lot of changes that had occurred.
Yeah, mostly just physically. I used to, like I said, I used to like metal a lot, so I always like tried to play fast metal. And I never really got my
Okay.
legs back. I always complained to them about it because for some reason I just have old man legs and they don't like to work. But I mean, a lot of the rest, I mean, I don't think I lost necessarily. If anything, I've learned to evolve a little bit just because of these guys and just hearing how they
Yeah.
play in different pockets of things I
Well,
can do.
and I was thinking more too, like, when you say advanced, like with the technology or, new ways that equipment might be made or something that came out, when you picked up after that 8 to 9 year break. Just wondering if you noticed a big difference in that aspect.
In the gear,
Hmm.
oh yeah, yeah, things have advanced so much, and then now, of course, you have AI, which is wild to me that you can go online streaming services and actually listen to AI bands. It's just, it's kind of sad, honestly.
Yeah, that is. I feel like there's going to be a very big uprising and it's going to have to take musicians in those music industry who haven't sold their souls to AI to take a stand. 'Cause it's getting ridiculous.
Yeah, a lot of it's, I mean, to a lot of musicians, I feel like some of it's pretty noticeable anymore. You can tell, at least I feel like I can tell. Yeah, like
Yeah.
when
Tell me
people,
from your standpoint, what seems noticeable when you hear it in music?
a lot of it just seems to follow like a similar pattern.
Okay.
Whereas when it's like a real musician that's put his real original ideas into it, I just feel like it transcribes a little bit more with emotion. Kind of hard to explain, I guess, but yeah, it's just
Mhm.
it's when it sounds too fake, it sounds too fake. I guess a good way to.
Okay. Yeah, I see that through like a lot of postings and things like that that people use. You can tell when it's been AI generated because it'll have a lot of the same keywords in there. And it's like, like a lot of these posts you'll see if it starts out, I walked into the room was astounded, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it's the same kind of emotional tone that it tries to
Hmm.
give, but it's using the same verbiage.
Mm,
So, I mean, that's just what I can tell from, just kind of like a text posting standpoint, somebody
mm.
wanting to tell their story or whatever. But for music, always interested to hear from musicians, I guess, how would you explain it to a fan, somebody who doesn't play music, those differences that your keen ear is able to point out? Because unfortunately, I mean, this music is happening because not everybody can decipher that. And that's the sad thing.
Yeah, and people are always gonna like what they like. There's people that like
Yeah.
bump, and I mean, to each their own. But there's always gonna be something for somebody, and if AI music is something that somebody gets into, I mean, have at it, I suppose. But it,
Sure.
I think
So what about
originality will always come through, though.
the originality?
I think that'll always kind of stand out.
Yeah. Well, there's just some things that you can try to imitate and reproduce. AI is doing a very close job doing that, but it's not 100%. Maybe we should just not talk about it because we're all being listened to.
Hmm.
Our phones are picking up on it. So,
All the
in
time.
saying what you can hear and what sounds AI, if maybe the more we talk about it, the better they're going to make it. And then it will just work against us.
Yeah,
Isn't that crappy? You have to think that way, though.
yeah.
Hmm.
Skynet real life.
All right. But, anyways, let's get back to Accuse the Villain. My goodness. Well, with your song Override, I was listening to that and checking that out. And I like some of the lyrics, especially the part where you say, Will I see you in another life? And I felt is that more, I guess, talking about AI? Was that around that too?
Yeah, that song specifically is a lot about how technology, AI, and just the way of the world is influencing everybody. You just don't know who you're talking to anymore. If anybody has an original thought, it just covers a lot of those bases.
Well, and I thought that was kind of like thought provoking too, where you say, "Will I see you in another life?" Because if you're applying that to say this AI, these tools and engines, what happens when you pass this life? Are they gonna be around still for you? Like some of our traditions and beliefs feel will happen. How does that apply to AI?
Hmm.
So I just thought that was something interesting, an interesting question that you had there in the song. What goes into your writing? Who mainly writes the lyrics? Is it a group effort, or I guess how does that work
So
with you
far,
guys?
primarily, I have written a majority of the lyrics. I do ask the guys all the time, like, "How's this sound? How does that sound?" If you guys have anything, any input or anything like that. But so far, so good. Not too many critiques, not too many adjustments from them. So just yeah, just going with it.
Yeah, he does a good job. At least I think he
Hey,
does.
thanks, man.
And how long have you been accused the villain? How long have you been a band?
It's been probably a thing for around 3 years now. Like I said, we started off as a three-piece, Jason, myself, and our other buddy who just happened to, decide at some point that he just didn't have time for it anymore, and so we started looking around, and, of course, we got Kevin G and the other fellas to hop on board. They liked what we were doing so far, and, super thankful that we're here and they're here and got some exciting stuff coming up. But um, I think Hatred Paradise is our first one, and that's been about 3 years, I would say, around that.
Okay. And do you actually record and produce your own music, or do you have somebody that you work with?
We primarily record our own stuff from home. We have a lot of home recording, but we do work with a producer. We do work with a mixing engineer just to make sure everything is, crisp.
So you mentioned that you do have a lot of things coming up. What are some things that you can share with us that you're excited about?
We have the new single coming out this Friday, which we're super excited about. We have Inkarceration coming up in 2 weeks. I know Jason specifically is super excited about that. He's not nervous at all.
Nah, nah, never.
And we're also in the process of trying to put together I guess call it a headliner show in the fall that we are still working out a few things. So a lot of eyes and ears saying like, "Hey, we're going to be watching and we'll see what happens." I mean, that's not why we're doing this, but it's nice to know that it's catching someone's attention.
Definitely. So, where would you like to be in a year from now as a band?
I mean,
Mm.
realistically, everybody has, lives they can't walk away from. So we all are under the impression, we're just doing this for fun. We're going to go play, locals if we can, hop on some lineups with some bigger bands, play some bucket list venues. That would be ideal. So in a year, that's at least for me, I'm hoping we're, playing inside the festivals, we're playing in the bigger venues, stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah, it would definitely be nice to get to the point where we're opening for some of the bands that we really gravitated towards and pulled some influence from
Mhm.
uh, throughout their lives. I mean, I know the one we were trying to hop on, or at least find somebody to talk to about it, was 10 years. I think, between us all, we've all really liked that band since we were, teenagers, and Jesse's a good dude. I mean, it's just, yeah. So just something like that, even in a local setting, but just opening for somebody like that would be super cool. Definitely bucket list stuff.
Are all of you guys living in Cleveland?
No,
No?
we're kind of spread out. Yeah.
Near? Really? Okay.
I think what I'm in Medina, you got Wadsworth, Worcester, Ravenna,
Goodness. My
I'm
goodness,
Madison.
in
you
I'm
are.
in Delton, which is about 45 minutes east of Mansfield.
Okay. And what's the name of the town?
Delton,
Downton. How do you spell that?
Dalton. It's just right on the other
Oh,
side of Worcester, basically, if you know where Worcester is. Between Worcester and Massillon.
Okay. All right. Nice. Now, when you guys come here next weekend, are your plans just to stay here all weekend, or are you going to drive back and forth?
I know some of the guys were talking about camping and sticking around, and I figured I live close enough, I'll just drive, but I don't know. I don't know if what was decided amongst everybody, but I think some people are thinking about it.
Yeah, I think the two
Yeah, I
guys that
think we're
live the
gonna.
farthest were planning on camping out, but I think the three of us, since we live close enough to Mansfield, that we're probably just gonna head home afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll probably after we play Saturday night, I'll probably just crash out and see if I'm gonna stick around in the morning for any of the other bands. Probably, but we'll see. Just
Well,
depends on the
yeah, there's
weather.
a whole day of bands for
Yeah,
Sunday.
it's hard to walk away from, but just play it by ear. Just see how it feels, what the weather's like, all the things.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
just
That's
pray
a good
for some good
idea.
weather. Good
I have
weather.
not checked out the weather recently. I'll need to do that.
No rain.
Just stay dry. Just stay dry. That's it.
Yeah. Now, last year on Saturday, it did rain, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
was
I
it
remember
we
leaving
stayed.
early
We stayed through.
one day. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
we stayed until the end because Slipknot closed that night, so we stayed to watch them. It was worth it. And I know that on the grounds they had some more sidewalks put in because it usually ends up raining at
And it's
least
just a
one day
muddy
there.
mess.
And then right. Yeah. So, since last year and this year, they've had some more sidewalk and pathways created because of that. Not to say
Good.
it won't stop
Good.
people from slipping and sliding in the mud that want to do it on purpose,
Right.
but it definitely helps for walking around, especially where they locate all the food and the restrooms and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah. Good
It would be
times.
an adventure.
Yeah. It's always an adventure there.
Course.
My God, were you there when, oh goodness, now I can't think of the name of the band. Alex the Terrible, the singer, and he did the Wall of Death,
Of the
Slaughter
slaughter
to
to
prevail.
prevail.
Slaughter to Prevail. Yeah. Were you there? Did you watch them when they did that?
I
I
wasn't.
was
I don't remember the wall of death. I just remember him beating his forehead with the microphone till he was like bleeding. Like that's what I got
So
from it. But yeah, that
he
guy's
did the
crazy.
Wall of Death, and it was massive. It was insane, and just to watch it form, from the beginning of it was just a full crowd to him orchestrating and telling everybody what to do and separating all that all the way down to coming together in the mosh pit and stuff. Well, my friend and I, well, they were playing after the Wall of Death formed. Shortly after that, we had to go to the bathroom, so we're walking over to the bathroom. You should have seen the amount of people that were coming and being wheeled over to the medic tent because the
Oh
medic
my
tent was kind of like
gosh.
right there around the corner as you're headed to the bathroom. And we're like, damn, Alice the Terrible did that.
Actually, I do remember that. I remember that now because my tattoo artist
Yes,
was there and got hurt in that
right.
pit, and he had to like delay my tattoo by like a month because he like dislocated his shoulder or something. So like, yeah, I had to
My
I
postpone my
believe
gosh.
it.
tattoo appointment because he got beat up
They
in that wall
were,
of
and
death.
they were being rolled in, no doubt, by all the medic personnel. And I remember one chick, she was like, yeah, I was standing there and I was just like up against the gate and I couldn't move. And just all this, it was just kind of crazy. I mean, they were live, it's not like limbs were hanging off or anything, but it was, um, it was definitely a rush for the medic tent at that time.
yeah.
Mhm.
Good thing about those shows and most hard shows really that I've ever seen, experienced, heard about. Everybody is really mindful and, you know, pays attention and cares for people, especially if they fall.
Right.
So I know that's kind of those type of things at a metal show are always kind of frowned upon by some, but I mean it's just nice to see the positivity of people coming together and looking out for each other when
And
stuff
it
like that.
happens every year. I mean, people are watching out for each other, for the kids that come. I mean, it's pretty astounding how the crowd pulls together to keep everyone safe
Mhm.
because we're
Mhm.
all there for the same reason.
Yep.
So it's cool to be able to go and not feel judged.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good place for sure.
Love the metal
Nice
community.
foundation too. The guys
Yeah,
putting on good
definitely.
guys.
So what are some, I guess, what would you say you want fans to take away when they hear Accuse the Villain?
Hmm.
Do either of you fellas want to answer that?
I'm gonna put G on the spot on this one.
All right, Kevin G.
I don't know, like the music in general is just like it's like oversaturated. Like anyone can go in their basement and get on a computer and throw songs on Spotify, you know? So like trying to separate yourself from the pack is getting more and more difficult. I do what I do like about this band a lot is like, yeah, it's got feeling, it's got groove, but like lyrically, like if you really pay attention, like Kevin does a great job with his lyrics. You're gonna get something out of the song if you really pay attention to it. Like I just think like there's bands like Hollywood Undead and Attila that have like great songs, but like lyrically it's just about like partying and drugs and chicks and but like our songs they have a meaning to them and like I think you can really get something out of it besides like moshing or banging your head, you know. So
It seems to, just looking through some of the lyrics, you definitely do support, suicidal awareness. Mental health is important, and that seems to be something that you support. Is there anything, I guess, behind you making that part of your platform?
Well, all of our music, well, I'll say all of the lyrics represent, real events, real emotion, real things that have taken place. So using this platform, whatever we have for those topics, is because, I write the lyrics about a moment in time where that was my life. So being using the platform to talk about mental health and suicide awareness is super important because I think that's a topic that a lot of people resonate with that don't really talk about it a whole lot. And it's kind of like therapy to me to just get it out on paper and turning it into something positive. So there's just a lot of layers to what's there. I like to tell the guys that I sprinkle little Easter eggs in my lyrics that have even more meaning than what you're listening to on the surface. So if you're talking about songs like The Choice, there's a lot more to that song than you probably realize because that at one point was a moment of my life.
I was checking out a video that you had on YouTube. It was titled Origin Story.
Mhm.
And this was something that was kind of like an eye opener for me. And it said, in a world built of shadows, sometimes the only way out is through. And that can be so hard when you're in the moment or, when you're in the thick of it, whatever it is you're dealing with, and hard to even, we're always thinking of, well, what is going to be that through? What's going to get us through? Trying to solve the problem or know what the solution is going to be. And sometimes you don't know that. You just have to, I feel like to me, it meant that you just have to see your way through. So
I
I
mean,
thought that was really cool.
well, so far, everything that's being written about is about overcoming something. So, because we all go through things, and that's the most
Sure.
important part is just to keep going.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for putting that out there and, just speaking on that. Unfortunately, sometimes it's hard, really hard for people to talk about it. I feel like the stigma is, being broken up day by day at a quicker rate than what it was even 10 years ago. But it's really cool that, guys such as yourselves are also, talking about that and putting that out there. That helps break the stigma. I spoke with a band not too long ago, another local Ohio band, and that is one thing that they put out there is, just men's mental health awareness because,
Mhm.
you know, a lot of times, unfortunately, just in past generations, we were raised that men toughen up, you don't talk about it. Females, let it all out. It's okay. So
Mhm.
it's good to see guys talking about that.
Like I said, it's like therapy for us, you know. I mean,
Well,
music,
absolutely. That's
we do the music thing, and that's our, you know, outlet, that's our expression. Maybe we don't talk about it as much as, you know, people should, but just from us personally, I'm not going to speak for everybody, but sure, that is why we do what we do, is because we live for those moments. We get lost in our instruments. We let all of that play out through our instrument.
so. This question just came to mind. If you were not a musician right now, what do you think you would be doing? If you were not in a band, if you weren't singing or creating lyrics or playing an instrument.
I don't even
Like
know.
that
I
that's
mean,
really
That's a good
hard.
question.
Like I've been
yeah,
like music's been like my life since as early as I can remember. Like I couldn't even
Okay.
like I was in band and choir all through school. Like I went to college right after for music education. Like I couldn't
Okay.
even imagine my life without it. Like I don't even know where I'd be right now.
yeah.
About how old were you when you started playing? When you started playing bass?
I think I was probably around like maybe 14, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say I've been doing music since I was way younger. Mostly like singing, and I was a trumpeter, but like
Okay.
bass I didn't start till I was like early teenager probably.
All right. My youngest plays trumpet right now for high school.
Nice. Yeah, I played when I was a wee lad myself.
You
A
played
good.
trumpet?
I used to, yeah, a long time ago. It's fun.
I was a percussionist.
Cool.
Yeah, I actually started, well, aside from drums, my first real band, I was the bass player, believe it or not.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to see if you guys play any other instrument.
I attempt. I can
You
strum a few
attempt.
chords on the guitar, hum a few melodies, but yeah, primarily I just stick to the drums best I can.
Anybody play piano among you?
That's
When I
something
was
that I want to.
when I was a music major in college, to be a music teacher, you have to pass a piano proficiency exam. It's like nothing crazy, but you have to like at least know how to do basic piano skills. And so like I would say like 20 years ago I could fiddle around and be okay, but like now like I don't think I could do it at all. But yeah,
Really?
at
Oh,
one
I
point,
bet you'd probably surprise yourself.
yeah, maybe.
So,
I
were you
still know the
planning to
basics.
become a music teacher?
Yeah, that was the plan until like 3 years in. Like I realized that I'm way too like introverted to be like a teacher. Like I'm more of like a behind the scenes kind of person. I like couldn't like see myself in front of like a class and like doing it. Like I don't know, I ended up getting like a liberal arts degree with music involved in it, but like yeah, I ended up not doing the education part.
That seems to happen a lot. Kids go off to college and end up changing their major.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Better to realize it during the course than after the course, I suppose.
Yeah, especially when you got to start paying back student loans.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not an easy thing.
No. So, did we talk about what all you have coming up for the rest of 2026? What are your
Yeah.
plans?
I think we left it with, we are attempting to put together a show probably in like the Akron area, I think, with a couple of other Ohio bands. But I think we just have a lot on our plate. Like we have so much music to get to that we want to release at some point too. So
All right. So, are you thinking an album or
probably not quite an album length of songs that we have, at least at that point, but there's just a lot on the shelf that needs worked on. And we only have so many that are released, but we're bringing a lot of new stuff to our live shows.
okay, cool.
I'd like to think by next year sometime we'll be at least be in the talks of releasing a full length. Like you said, we have quite a few songs like um almost in ready to go condition. Just that the foundation has been laid, and we just really have to spend the time to get into it with the rest of the guys and have them put their or themselves onto it, and yeah, just kind of collaborate from there. But yeah, Next year
Yeah,
would
the
be nice.
material's there for a full length. I would hope within a year
Okay.
we would at least be maybe putting together a full length. I would hope.
Yeah, because
Nice.
I have to say the reason being it's taking so long is I like to say that we're kind of taking the approach of quality over quantity. Like we are making sure we're taking our time with all of these songs and getting them to a point where we're super happy with them and they're not rushed and that's something that we are proud to release.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Oh, let
totally
me go.
understandable. Do you feel that do you think, I guess, how do I want to word this? It seems that more often than not, music is being released, as a single or an EP compared to full-length albums. What would you say some of the main reasons behind that, where there's less full-length albums being released?
My take
So if a
on
band
that
goes to release any music at all.
is it's more like I think streaming has a lot to do with that now. Like to be able to keep your algorithm going and like your followers and like you're constantly having to put something out
Okay.
there. So like as
So just
opposed to
trying to
taking
stay
like
there.
right, if you take a year off, then put out an album, like you're that's killing your online presence. So like if you're like consistently throwing a song out like once a month, you're constantly being engaging and keeping your presence there. And I mean, at least that's my take on it. Like you're constantly having
Yeah.
to be present.
Yep.
It's not like the days of
Especially for
Tool where they're
locals.
taking 7 years to put out an album. Like that doesn't fly anymore, I don't think.
Yeah. I mean, big bands do it too. I mean, not so much, I would say. Big national bands. I mean, Bring Me the Horizon was doing it. They might still be even doing it. I mean, they did a lot of collaboration stuff where they were just pumping out single tracks like a couple weeks apart, a couple months apart.
I think Memphis May Fire just did that with their recent album. They released like three-quarters of it as singles ever so often, and then when it was time to release the full album, there was only like 4 or 5 tracks that hadn't been released yet.
Yeah.
It's just so
Deftones
you
did the
have to
same
just
thing.
keep releasing stuff.
Yeah. Would you have ever guessed that, let's say when back in high school, before we had AI and all the apps, what would your thoughts be if somebody told you that when you start making music, you have to produce a single or an EP every so often compared to the mindset of putting out a full album? Would you thought that was crazy?
Absolutely.
Like back in the
I
day,
mean, we
like
Yeah,
lived in a
no.
time with full albums. That's what we were used to. So, of course, like it's hard to think about change like that.
like you waited for that album to drop. Like I remember like the Tuesday the album would come out, I'd be at like FYE or wherever, like waiting for
Yeah.
it. Like I couldn't imagine just like a song popping up on the radio like without like an album behind it. It's
Mhm.
I
I
guess
can,
we just weren't raised that way. That's not how we were raised. But
No.
yeah, change.
inevitable.
Unfortunately. I know some bands are, trying to go back the other direction and have, physical media only because it's impossible
Because
to
of the
make a
streaming.
living on
Yep.
streaming alone, yeah. Adelita's
Yeah.
Way specifically started doing that. They
Yes.
pulled all their
Yeah.
stuff,
They just did that last week, didn't they?
just recently, yeah.
Yeah, he's, like, actually mailing out CDs.
Yeah.
Nice.
And that's nice when you are already, like, known and popular, you can get away with that, but as, like, a brand new band who's a nobody, it is so hard to, navigate through the abundance of music that's out there and be heard by new listeners. It's extremely difficult just to try to even be heard.
So the quality thing comes in too. Like he was saying, it's
Yeah.
like I think we really pride ourselves in making sure that, you know, when it comes out, you can tell the quality the time was taken.
Something that you can fully stand behind.
You hear that with some bands, and that's a preference thing for a lot of people too. It's like recording drums, or it's like some people just like, yeah, that sounds good enough. But I mean, I notice things like that, and I think that just plays a big part in showing what your level of commitment towards the project, or the music itself.
Do any of you guys ever get out on stage and maybe you're in your head too much and you have to do whatever you need to do to try and bring you back into the present where you're at? And if so, what do you do? How do you handle that? Like, basically, do you get out on stage and you think, oh my God, I'm going to lose my shit because you're
Yeah,
overthinking something?
I want to touch on that one because I'll have to
Mhm.
let you know that I've always been an instrumentalist. I started as a drummer, played guitar, played bass. So this is the first time that I'm doing any singing. I am not a singer, and I've told these
Really?
guys numerous times, yeah, I am not a singer. How that happened, though, real quick, is when we were starting this, we couldn't find anybody who wanted to sing. And instead of shelving the idea, I was just like, well, I want to write lyrics. Let's see what happens. So I am also an introvert. So being in this position, getting on stage, we just had a show here in Worcester in April. Yes, I was about to lose my shit, but it was one of those things where it was just like, it's go time. Just go out there and do what you've been practicing, just do it. So, and just focus on what you're doing.
Did it catch you off guard or were you surprised in yourself when that happened?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't perfect by any means, but I was definitely content that I was able to just go do what we've been practicing, and we didn't, get booed out of the building or anything. So it must have been okay.
Out of the shows that you've played, is there anything, I guess, that you found to be really crazy or unexpected?
Not unexpected. Me personally, I always kind of plan for the worst. Kind of like expect the worst, you never be disappointed kind of thing. I think the worst is just the feeling of something not working. Like you start plugging stuff in and like, oh, I don't, yeah, like I don't
Yeah,
hear anything in my ears. Like what's going on? Then that's when the
ears are
panic
always a mess.
Lots of
is started.
cords for having so many things that are wireless these days, it sure doesn't apply to, a good gear setup,
Hmm. Yeah, I
which
mean,
is not a
anything could
bad
go
thing as
wrong.
long as everything works or at least as long as you have backup if, you know, this wire or this doesn't work, this, that, or the other.
Well, most of the time, in most cases, though, you're also in a time crunch to get set up and get going. So
True.
when something doesn't work, panic sets in, and then you have to troubleshoot it immediately. And sometimes that takes a minute to just, all right, chill out. Let's figure this out and not worry about anything else until this is figured out, kind of thing. Like our last show, we have a router that's in our rig for our ears that decided to disconnect, and we had to figure that out. So,
Yeah,
but
that's fun.
yeah,
Doesn't sound fun. For
things
me, those
happen.
would be moments where I would need a diaper.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yep.
was close. It was close. For more reasons than one. I was a little under the weather.
Yeah, shout out to
Whether
Jason. He was playing double duty for both bands that night that played, and he was sick as a dog, and he played both
really?
sets. So yeah, so
Oh, wow,
good
kudos to
man.
you.
Yeah, it worked out. It just added to the stress, but no, it was good. It was a lot of good people came out, and just did our thing, tried to enjoy it, and then slept 18 hours the next day.
Yeah, you probably needed it. Well, before we head out of here, is there anything else that you would like us to know about Accuse the Villain?
I did want to circle back and answer a question you were asking before Kevin G arrived about our sound. And I started to ask,
Yeah, how would you describe?
a lot of people say their favorite playlist that they've put together consists of like a variety of genres. They might be thumping to some old school rap at some point, and then the next one you've got Justin Bieber and then Creed. Everybody has their favorite playlist. So as musicians, we are fans of a variety of music. So that is what we're implementing also in our music is whatever we feel in the moment. We're not really boxed into one thing. So everything you hear like one song is probably not going to sound the same as the next or the next or the next kind of thing.
Okay. However, you have been invited and you're playing at the campgrounds at Ink.
Mm-hmm.
And we know the Ink circles around the hard rock,
Mm-hmm.
heavy metal, some emo in there. So that's got to be a big part of your music.
Sure. I mean, being a fan of music, you can always appreciate when you go to a metal show and hear, hip hop come through the speakers. I've been to metal shows where
Right.
in between bands, people are having a mosh pit to I want to dance with somebody. So it's I think there's something to appreciate in a variety. Yes, you're gonna have your distorted guitars, you're gonna have your double kicks and your screams, but there are elements in everything that are shades of different genres.
So you guys definitely you have an open mind and you go with what you know that you can put a song to that
Absolutely.
gives you inspiration.
Yeah. And the
Awesome.
difference in this band is we're no egos. We are all open-minded. We're all bringing our own styles to this thing, and everybody's idea is always thrown in the pot. And so far, so good. It's been working. I mean, when you're building something that people want to be a part of, I think everybody puts in a lot more effort and love to get creative with what we're doing.
Well, Mansfield, you heard it here first with Kevin G, Jason, and Kevin Hott with Accuse the Villain. We've got half the members of the band here. You can see them in full when they are here next Saturday playing at the Ink campgrounds. You're going to be playing live. You guys are going to be eaten up. They're going to love you. It's going to be a good time.
And it's going to be a late night too.
Yes, it will. It will. But just think, it's going to be so worth it.
But yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
then,
Lots of
yeah,
energy
just think of
drinks.
all the people that you're going to meet, all the memories you're going to make.
Can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna
Looking
be
forward
great.
to it.
Absolutely. And I hope that we can run into each other sometime during the festival
Absolutely.
also.
Absolutely.
Well, guys, thanks so much for being on the show. And again, Ohio, anybody who's listening, this is Accuse the Villain on She Shreds with Rasan. And keep it loud.
Thank you so much.
My life for me and let you be.